Meantime, huge crowds swarmed popular tide pools along our coast during the recent king tides. But some people, they're not following the rules, and they were called out on social media for not being respectful of marine life.
Noticeably missing from the videos, any sign of park rangers. CBS 8's Steve Price joins us live from La Jolla Shores. Steve, who's responsible for enforcing the rules out there?
Well, there is a little confusion because different areas have different people. We'll get to that in a minute, but I can tell you that people who regularly tide pool say they were stunned by the size of the crowds this weekend. Popular places were absolutely packed, and unfortunately, they saw some of those people not respecting the wildlife.
This is mortifying.
Huge crowds at popular tide pooling spots around the county, and not everyone on their best behavior.
The fact that people are letting their kids climb all over it is beyond me.
Videos circulating online, taken during our king tides over the weekend, show people stepping on marine life, manhandling it, and even some reports of people taking things home.
Many of the tide pools that people love to go to in Southern California are actually marine protected areas.
Victor Fells, a museum educator at Birch Aquarium, says it's illegal to take animals from protected areas, and in many spots, it's also against the law to even bother them. But laws aside, he wants to remind you these are living creatures.
Generally, I recommend not touching any of the animals, especially because most of the people tide pooling are not super familiar with each species, the sensitivities, if they're potentially dangerous. So being careful and respectful as much as possible is always the best course of action.
And Victor makes another great point. Recklessly climbing all over everything can actually ruin your experience by scaring the animals away. And as these tide pooling pictures from Birch Aquarium show, there's some really cool stuff to see.
I've seen incredible amounts of really cool animals like moray eels, octopus, lobster, nudibranchs, many species that I've never even seen while diving.
Several comments on social media asked why no park rangers were out enforcing the rules. We reached out to the city and they said park rangers don't actually have jurisdiction here. Instead, it's the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. We reached out to them as well and are still waiting for a statement. And Anna, to add to your question about who's in charge, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, while they did not give me an official statement, they did say that they have a hotline. And if you see anybody doing something illegal out there in the tide pools, you should go ahead and either call or text their hotline. That way they'll know something's going on and they can send somebody out as soon as possible. But to try and end all this on a positive note, Victor from Birch Aquarium said, you know, most of the people out here were being respectful. He doesn't want that to put a bad cloud over what happened out here. It was just a handful, but what we saw from that handful was definitely disturbing. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Steve Price reporting live for us. Yeah, don't mess with that stuff.
Yeah, I saw a video of people prodding at octopus and even pulling lobsters out of the water and walking away with them.
That's not good stuff.
No.
Good advice there from Victor. Thanks, Victor.
Yeah.